Oh, hey, chapter 8, and thus spoke the alchemist. Now it makes sense why that was called Thus Spoke the Alchemist. I didn't understand that title name. Wild stuff going on. Some of it good, some of it a little, I don't know if I want to say bad, but I dare say bad. Bad in my opinion. Like, I feel like it's a little very mixed opinions all around. Oh, hey. Back to prison Adol. Oh, we meet in the distorted space. Dude, how is Aprilis alive, though? Was she just not... I mean, I'm not gonna gripe about that too much. She could have survived that stab. I mean, like, it's not every day you survive a stab, so partially not, but I don't know. They're hopefully they brush over that of how she's alive. Because they kind of just made it like, oh yeah, she's alive.
It's our first time meeting, but it doesn't feel that way.
This is so weird.
You and I have been connected all along. You felt it too, haven't you? I envy you for all of your adventures. What a life. The danger. When was the last time you slept in peace? Why keep doing it? Why do you still want to be an adventurer?
It's so weird to see the other Adol talk. Just Adol in general saying sentences.
Yeah, it does. If you don't light a fire, it'll never go out. If you don't make decisions, you'll never be hurt. But you'll never be deterred. You'll keep going until your last breath escapes you. In you, there lies a hope that guides you, and everyone around you toward their dreams.
Yeah, I mean, my adventure's not over.
Yeah, just the thought of it gets your heart racing, huh? I have a favor to ask. I wish I could go with you, but I'm afraid I'm running out of time. Still, I can't let it end here. Adventures are still waiting for us. So I ask you this. Take my power and my soul. Take them with you on your journeys. Adol Kristen.
This is weird. Not weird in the sense that I don't understand it, but it's just weird. Mostly to see Adol talking. Even if it is a fake Adol, just seeing him talk. Final chapter. This is the last chapter, I guess. Monstrum knocks. I did not think it was going to be called Final Chapter. I guess that confirms it. We're in the last chapter of the game, which means the end of the game is pretty near.
You're awake.
Assuming all the chapters are like around the same length, like this should be near the end. We've been here this whole time. Rosvita has preserved bodies, knows how she has all her limbs. I wasn't looking at her limbs. Like, the game better explain it to me.
Yes. It was Dr. Noah's first time performing this procedure, so he cautioned me of its risks. I thought it best to stay and be sure you were all right. Incidentally,
I mean, that would make sense what you're saying, but if the game just expects me to, like, notice it, then that's lame.
I believe this is the first time we've spoken, Adol Kristen.
Yeah, I guess it is, because I'm, like, the other Adol. Now I'm the real Adol.
Yeah.
Then you must be aware of what happened to you.
Adol the Red certainly is perceptive.
Dr. Noah.
The adventurer Adol Kristen and his homunculus the Crimson King. Within you resides both of their souls. To be precise, you were originally one person, and now you've become one again.
They split my personality in two. That's so wild to think about.
Do you feel the Crimson King's consciousness and the power you inherited?
Tell them the pact you made with the Crimson King.
So that's what happened.
A conversation between souls during fusion. That is fascinating indeed.
Dr. Noah is Zola's assistant, but he has since joined our cause.
Oh, how convenient for us.
He was the one who fused both of your souls into a single body. Forgive me, but this was the only way to save the Crimson King's life.
No.
Zola is an exceedingly cautious man, but his primary concern now is his research. My extracurricular activities will be of little consequence to him, for the time being. Now that Adol has awakened, we must begin preparations.
Yes, Dr. Noah is right.
Preparations for what?
I was planning on telling you after everyone had arrived. And it seems that time has come.
Adol! You're all right!
It's good to see the procedure was a success.
Okay, I'm better with this because, like, you know, the fact that the Adol we were playing as was the fake, but he still resides inside the Adol, so I'm, like, cool with it. I would have been very disappointed if the Crimson King disappeared and we just got this Adol instead. That would have been very disappointing, but the fact that the other Adol resides in me kind of makes it like, okay, the journeys together weren't for naught, and they were like, he still remembers them because, you know, they're still one. So that makes me feel a little better.
I suppose introductions are in order.
Not really. I mean, I still have the Crimson King inside me.
That's right. That makes this the first time we've met. Right, Adol?
Guys, don't make this weird. Yeah, you tell the Crimson King still is on. Yeah, of course.
I didn't think you could do something like that.
At least I've got something to show for leaving home.
Can't wait to hear all about it.
Long story short, you're the same Adol we've always been friends with.
Exactly.
Thank goodness. Yes. My worries have been assuaged.
You didn't call us just for this welcome back party, did you?
Yes, there's chips and guac on the table over there, as well as some eggplant parm.
Before I get to it, there is something I need to tell you all first. It concerns Zola, the one who created all of us homunculi.
About time you told us who he is, and how you two know each other.
That man... No, the alchemist, Zola...
He was a young noble who served Rosvita during the 100 Years' War.
Anemona?
You've regained more memories?
Yes. Some returned when I saw this room. If Zola served under Rosvita, then they must have known each other a long time.
That reminds me. There was a guy standing next to the saint in that painting.
So is Zola the acquaintance you knew or something like that? If it is, I guess that makes it a little better, but I still am not okay with Zola's existence, at least right now.
Is that the guy you're talking about? He's just a kid now.
Yes. The 100 Years' War was also a proxy war between the gods.
He's like Mythos. He just looks like a child, but he's powerful.
Glia had the blessing of Grimnir. Ritai was blessed by Luki. But the roaring flames of human war eventually ignited the realm of the gods. Divided between the two sides, a war of their own erupted. Ultimately, Grimnir and Luki both fell at the other's hand.
Is this the Twilight of the Gods from the Norse religion?
Yes. Because of that war, the gods that once blessed Glia perished.
That's terrible. Then what is the Grimwald Nox?
You said the gods used the Grimwald Nox to contain and purge the monsters.
Even without the gods, the Grimwald Nox still creates monsters from human emotions. So now, it falls on humans to eradicate the monsters born from them. But after the 100 Years' War, many Glians were overcome with grief. The monsters manifested from them could no longer be contained by humans alone.
What happened then?
That is when Zola intervened. After I was executed, he resigned from the military and returned home. He secluded himself and became engrossed in his research to the point of obsession.
So that was when he began learning alchemy.
But why did he do that?
Thought you were smarter than that, kid.
Papa wanted to revive Rosvita. He respected her as both his commander and the woman he loved. He sold his land and used his inheritance to devote his life to his research. He would often isolate himself in his lab for days at a time without food or rest. The outcome of his blood and tears was...
It was me. I was born from his work.
That's such a sad reason.
Yeah, I never would have guessed. Zola then reappeared from isolation as an alchemist. He proposed a plan to the Glean royal family, who was overwhelmed by the Grimwald Nox.
So that's why.
Only beings of exceptional strength and skill are capable of suppressing the Grimwald Nox. They are doing the gods' work, quite literally after all. Zola's proposal involved the creation of a homunculus army. The Glean royalty, out of time and other options, accepted his proposal.
So that's how he built all of this.
As you know, homunculi are created by replicating existing humans. When the royal family sought candidates in secret, a handful of people volunteered. Yes. The volunteers were my comrades who fought alongside me in the 100 Years' War. You are the homunculi of the heroes preserved here in this lab.
Yeah, I remember the portrait.
The homunculi who have been slaying the Lemiris in secret, maintaining peace in Glia.
And centuries of this conflict brought us to today.
Yes. If the homunculi warriors were injured or killed, new ones were created.
Hang on. Homunculi warriors were injured or killed, new ones were created. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm following this.
Zola even transferred his own soul into homunculi in order to continue his research. Then he gave his warriors gifts that bound them to this land.
That explains what the curse is.
Oh, so the curse is literally just our gifts. That's about it. That's like cut and dry. That's what it is.
I had no idea.
Why were we adopted or given to orphanages then? Was that the case for all of our predecessors?
No. Zola and I raised the homunculi ourselves. But 15 years ago, Zola disappeared. Your predecessors had perished, and you were all much too young to fight. That is why I made the decision to suppress the Grimwald Nox alone. I had no other choice but to entrust you to the people of Balduke.
So you've been fighting alone then?
So then, what has Zola been doing?
Shortly before he left, he said he had discovered a breakthrough in his research. I've no doubt it's the magnum opus he was speaking of, and he's still working on it.
Aprilis, I couldn't hear like the last half of that sentence. You mind repeating that for me?
There's one more thing that doesn't add up. Where did you come from? Saint Rosvita was tricked by Bratai's army and burned at the stake. So explain to me how the hell you were created.
Kratos' right. Our bodies were preserved.
Papa can fabricate more than just objects and flesh. He can fabricate human souls as well.
I do remember him saying that.
My soul was the first prototype that he successfully fabricated, using the doll belonging to Rosvita as a relic. Papa placed my soul into it. Huh? He did it because fabricating a soul was only the first step.
He needed to put the soul into something I held dear to learn more about my past. From the memories he learned from Anemona and a lock of my hair, I was created.
Wait. Memories he learned from Anemona. Does that have anything to do... I guess that explains why Aprilis and Anemona are connected. Because I remember when Aprilis quote-unquote died, Anemona like remembered something. That probably triggered it.
What?
Now you're telling us he can create people from nothing but memories and hair?
Yeah, this is all pretty wild, Aprilis.
That's a lot of power for one man.
Right? Now we know why Aprilis and the rest of us were created. But what about Adol?
It must have something to do with Zola's magnum opus.
I don't have the answer to that question. but Zola has a deep desire for Adol's copious experience as an adventurer.
Could it be possible that the strange monsters and primordials we have witnessed in the prison were designed based on Adol's past adventures?
That's really interesting now that you put it like that. Something I would have probably put together if I had played other Ys games.
That's quite the admirer you've got, Adol.
I suspected that was the case. And if Adol says so, then it must be.
I'm worried.
Worried about what?
Isn't there anything we can do to stop Zola?
There are many things I need to ask him, but nobody knows where he is. There's also the matter of a certain event that's about to happen.
And what's that?
Balduq will soon be hosting its Victory Day festival for the 100 Years' War.
What is that?
You mean...
It is an annual event. A day that celebrates Rosvita and the reclamation of Balduq.
About that time of year again, huh?
Yeah, I suppose we were too busy to remember. But what does the festival have to do with anything?
The scars left by the 100 Years' War still run deep through this land. Once every year, the Grimwald Nox becomes the more dangerous ultimate Grimwald Nox.
Even more dangerous?
Now that is a celebration I can get behind.
Victory Day is in 3 days.
We do not have much time.
Zola is a threat, but the ultimate Grimwald Nox is a more immediate concern. Before that time comes, you should all take this chance to return to the city and rest.
I think I'll do that. I'm exhausted, mentally and physically.
Yeah, we've all been through a lot.
I could use a night to let this all sink in.
I will investigate the Grimwald Nox and Zola's whereabouts. You'll hear from me if I discover anything. Until then, rest well.
Man, we learned a lot more than we have in any other stream. Or all of them combined, for that matter. There was so much in this, like, things answered in this compared to, like, every other stream combined. It's crazy. With that, Adol and the others decided to leave the prison, return to the city for the time being. Exhausted, Monstrums needed time, both to rest, to reflect upon the truth they had discovered about themselves. Bonfire was lit in the city to celebrate the coming festivities, and the streets were abound with a lively vigor. In an effort to ease citizen concerns over the night's revolt, many Roman soldiers were assigned to assist with preparations. 3 days came and went. Before long, Balduq was ushering in the start of the Victory Day festival. Yet even then, there was still no word from Aprilis.